Hello viewers, welcome to the Academia. Today I will discuss pulmonary capacities. Okay, so in our previous video I have gone through pulmonary volumes, that is the tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, residual volume, etc. So in describing events in the pulmonary cycle, it is sometimes desirable to consider two or more of the volumes together. Sometimes we need two or more volumes together. Okay, so such combinations are called pulmonary capacities. So when we take two or more volumes together, so these kind of combinations called pulmonary capacities. To the right, so what are the capacities? So I will discuss one by one the capacities. First of all, functional residual capacity. FRC, which is okay. So the FRC is the amount of air which remains inside the lung after normal expiration. So after that, this is the capacity of lung to have some air. So FRC equal to RV plus ERV. Okay. That is residual volume plus expiratory reserve volume. So what was the residual volume? It was the volume of air remaining in lungs after most forceful expiration. So this plus ERV, that is expiratory reserve volume, that was the maximum extra volume of air that can be expired by forceful expiration after the end of the normal tidal expiration. Okay, so both of these when combined, it form the functional residual volume, that is FRC, and it is about 2.2 liters. Okay, so the value increases in diseases like emphysema. So this value actually increases in some diseases like emphysema. So I will discuss about emphysema in our next video. So an increased FRC influences the alveolar ventilation. So actually this happens in emphysema. When I go through this, you can understand, and thus the pulmonary gas exchange also hampered. Okay, so how we measure FRC? So in the measurement, there are two techniques. Number one is helium dilution technique, and number two is N2 washout method. So next I will discuss the helium dilution technique first. So can see in the diagram shown that how the measurement occurred. So helium mixture with known concentration of helium, if we take it is C1, is kept in the spirometer of known volume, that is V1. Okay, so C1 and the known volume V1. Okay, now the person whose FRC is to be measured is connected to the spirometer. So can see easily in the diagram, at the end of the normal expiration he is connected. It means that there is FRC amount of air in his chest at the start, Now he breathes for some time from the helium mixture in the spirometer. Okay. The helium now spreads throughout the respiratory tract, and the volume in which the helium is now present is what? It is V1 plus FRC. Okay. If the concentration of helium in the volume is taken as C2, then we can write. So if volume V1 and the concentration we take C2, so can write that V1 C1 okay. Okay, so this is the formula by which we can easily measure the FRC, right? In the actual practice, a gas mixture, that is air, oxygen, helium, is made in a cylinder. The initial concentration is noted, then the patient is connected to the cylinder at FRC and allowed to breathe from the mixture, right? A helium sensor measures the concentration of helium continuously. Helium concentration of the mixture shows a gradual decrease due to dilution by the FRC air. When uniformly mixed, the helium concentration becomes steady. Now the FRC is read directly from the display of the apparatus. So this is the way how we can measure FRC in the helium dilution technique. Another is N2 washout method. In this method, the subject inhales pure oxygen from a source and exhale into a Douglas bag. So here Douglas bag is used. Okay. For 7 minutes. By this time, all the N2 present in his lungs is washed out by the pure oxygen into the bag. Now measuring the amount of N2 in the bag and N2 concentration in lung air, the FRC can be calculated. So the amount of N2 in bag and N2 concentration in lung air. So this can be used for the calculation of FRC. So these two methods are important. Now the inspiratory capacity IC, so it is the amount of air which can be inspired by maximum effort after a normal expiration. So with which volumes or which volumes are combined here, it equals the tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume. So IC equals tidal volume plus inspiratory reserve volume. So these two volumes combined. It is the amount of air a person can breathe in. Okay. Now it is the it is about 2.5 to 3.5 liters. So it is about, the amount is 2.5 to 3.5 liters. Right? Moving to the next. So now the TLC, total lung capacity, it is the maximum amount of air that is contained in the lungs after maximum inspiration. So the two volumes which represented, that is TLC equal to vital capacity plus residual volume. So the TLC equal to vital capacity plus residual volume. Now we know that what is vital capacity. So it is actually the amount of air that can be breathed out by maximum expiration, right? So I will discuss vital capacity now. Next, the amount. Okay, so the amount is 5.5 liters. Next, the vital capacity. That is VC. So what is that? So now see the vital capacity, okay? It is the amount of air that can be breathed out by maximum expiration after maximum inspiration. So this is the formula, VC equal to IRV plus TV plus ERV. So VC means this. So if I write here, so can write that VC means IRV plus TV plus ERV plus RV. So can write like this. So what is the amount? So the amount is about 4.6 liters. Okay. So the amount is value is about 4.6 liters, right? In a person with good physique show high VC. VC is frequently measured as it is a very useful index of lung function. So vital capacity is very important and very useful index for the lung functions, and the measured value is expressed as percentage of the predicted VC. Okay. So these are very important. That is the values. So these are about the lung capacities, and there are many factors which can influence the VC, that is vital capacity, because we know that the VC is the most important or useful index of lung function. So can see next what are the factors which influence VC. So these are the important factors. Age, it is reduced in old age. As the age progresses, the VC reduces. The sex, less in females than in males. Now what is the value? So in male 2.6 liter per m square. And in case of female 2.1 liter per m square. M for meter. Meter square. Okay. Next, the body size. So it increases with the body size. Larger the individual, having higher vital capacity. The posture, it is higher in sitting posture. So we see higher in sitting posture. And lower on lying down than in standing posture. Okay. Now physical training, it increases after physical training. It is more in athletes and in persons who undertake hard physical work. So physical training is also important. It is more in athletes or having hard work, right? And next one is the disease. In various diseases of chest and lung, the vital capacity decreases. So when it decreases in asthma, pleural effusion, fibrosis, so diseases, the VC decreases in asthma, fibrosis, etc. So VC also decreases in pregnancy, which is a physiological condition. It is not a disease. Here the diaphragm is pushed up by the gravid uterus. So it also decreases in pregnancy. So VC is also measured, and it is measured by spirometer. The person is asked to take a maximum inspiration. So it is VC is also measured by spirometer. And what is the technique? The person is asked to take a maximum inspiration and then to expire with all his might and as long as he can. The volume of air expelled is recorded and calculated from the height of the graph. So 1 millimeter considered as 30 ml. Okay, so these are about the different lung capacities starting from FRC, IC, TLC and VC. Hope you people can understand. So be with academia. If you have any query or question, you can ask in the comment box. Till then, good night.